I'm just about to slice some bread for breakfast. We need some more lighting in here, don't we? Okay, that's a little better. I made this cinnamon raisin sourdough loaf. And so I'm just going to slice that up. Typically I slice the bread. I could leave it for the kids to do, but it's just gonna be kind of a mangled mess. So I typically slice it, and then they can come down and make their own toast and put whatever they want on it. Some of the kids, I'm sure, will still put peanut butter on this toast, or cream cheese, honey, jam. The options are there. And so I'm just gonna I think I'll just slice this whole loaf actually. We also have plenty of fruit here. I went to Costco a couple days ago and bought 3 bunches of bananas, and they were all so green, but they're definitely ready to be eaten now. This is actually the perfect time for me. My favorite way to eat a banana is when it's still a little bit green and no brown spots. As soon as there are brown spots on them, they're just a little too ripe. I know I sound super picky, but the kids can have fruit, they can have yogurt, and of course, cinnamon raisin bread. And this is what I'm having for breakfast today. I made 2 fried eggs. I put everything bagel seasoning on there. And then I had 2 pieces, well, one big piece of cinnamon raisin bread. I put cream cheese on mine, and I'm also gonna eat a banana. So this should be a nice filling breakfast for me. I think I'm just going to eat my breakfast while I make a pot of coffee. So I'll just walk around, you know, munch on my breakfast and get the kitchen cleaned up, make a pot of coffee, and I thought there was one other thing I was gonna say when I pulled out the camera. Oh, I remember. All I was gonna say is I'm wearing my apron inside out. I noticed it after I put it on. Everyone's sitting at the table waiting for me to start school with them. So I'm just getting this pot of coffee started, and then we're gonna get started with Bible time this morning. How many more weeks of school do we have? 2 more weeks. I know you guys are gonna see this. Right now, my full day of food videos are about 2 weeks behind. So by the time you see this, we're probably just finishing school. But currently, as I am filming, we have 2 more weeks of school. We're getting so close. Coffee time. I pour just a bit of cream in. That much. And then top it up with full cup of coffee.
Can I have these?
You want to have cashews for snack? More than an apple? Okay, this is a new bag. Bring it to the table. You'll have to cut open the top. Zara's having, Zara, I thought we were done with this bag. You must have gotten the last bit. I did buy a whole nother bag of these from Costco as well, the chili and lime almonds. So apparently we're doing nuts for snack today. Drinking water. It is time for lunch now, and so I just got a bunch of these naan breads laying out on a baking sheet there. I'm just going to grate cheese. Sim, is that what you're doing? Oh, Simeon is grating cheese for me. I forgot. I was thinking I told you to slice veggies. Okay, Simeon's grating a bunch of cheese. Probably all that cheese there, because it's going to take a lot of cheese to cover all that naan bread. And then we'll top that with kielbasa. Whenever I make this, it reminds me of when I used to work in a daycare, and this was a lunch that we would have weekly, is like pita bread or naan bread with cheese and kielbasa. No like pizza sauce, just cheese and kielbasa. Really easy and so tasty.
Pepperoni.
No, it's not pepperoni. It's kielbasa.
Better.
You like pepperoni better. We used the rest of our pepperoni last week. Yes.
So good.
I know.
We're also having pizza on the last day of school.
We are also having pizza the last day of
But
school.
not
You're right.
pizza. Pizza.
Okay, so we're gonna get these pizzas in the oven. I also quickly threw together this veggie dip this morning. I have shared this recipe and talked about this many times because it's just such an easy recipe. I'll link that recipe down below. It's so easy. Like, as long as I have sour cream on hand, I can throw this recipe together. The recipe, I believe, calls for sour cream and then a little bit of Greek yogurt. I just use sour cream and then mayonnaise. I kind of do like a sour cream and mayo mix. Sometimes if I'm low on sour cream, I'll do half sour cream, half mayo. If not, I'll do a lot of sour cream and a little bit of mayo. So I don't like measure all those ingredients. But then the spices it has are just salt, pepper, not pepper, salt, onion powder, garlic powder, parsley, dill, and then I slice up some chives as well. So just ingredients I always have on hand, and it's such a good veggie dip.
We're having chives for pizza. No.
What are you talking about? We're having chives in the dip, and we're gonna slice up some veggies shortly. Okay, hold on. You guys, just let Simeon and I take charge here. We'll make a delicious lunch. You'll see it when it's all ready. Okay, Simeon kept calling me over saying, is this enough cheese? Is this enough cheese? And I kept saying, no, more cheese, more cheese. So this is the rest of the cheese that was in our cheese container over here. I think it's just barely enough. Now they're ready to go into the oven. They're just gonna go into the oven long enough for the cheese to melt. Just came out of the oven. Cheese is melted, they're looking tasty, and I'm just going to use my pizza cutter to slice them up. I quickly just got this all set out on the cutting board because we're going to bring this all outside to eat lunch outside today. But there's the pan full of pizza. We've got all of our chopped veggies, and then here's our dip. There's a little chive just sticking out there. Give it another stir, because sometimes the garlic powder or onion powder gets a little bit clumpy right after I make it, so I'll give it just another stir there. And I would bet some of the kids are going to dip not only their veggies but also their pizza into this kind of homemade ranch, but better than ranch. I don't even want to call it ranch. It's just a delicious veggie dip. But there's today's lunch. It's a good popsicle day. Am I right, Wesley? It definitely is. And this freezer, do you see it down there? Okay. It's obviously been a little while since we've had popsicles, and this freezer is pretty full. Hold on, let me move this out of the way. We need to rearrange this so the popsicles are a little bit more accessible.
This is Mom's.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have one of these ones today. I love these frozen Greek yogurt popsicles from Costco. The kids are gonna have these ice pops. They are naturally colored, so I'll give them that. If you can believe it, they look so vibrant, but it's like beet juice, turmeric. I'm gonna have one of these. I'm sure we'll have something else a little bit later, but that's how we're gonna start our snack. What should I have here? I think I'll have a blueberry one today. I somehow just kind of forgot that I'm filming a full day of food today, and I just stuck chicken into the oven for supper. Forgot to even show any of that process. But thanks so much. Charity's my all-star fly catcher. She's caught 3 flies here in the last few minutes. Because kids keep leaving the door open.
Not me.
That's why it's happening. We also do have chickens, so we have more house flies around than probably most people do. But I did stick 2 chickens into the oven. So what I do when I cook up chicken, I've talked about this a few times before, but for anybody who doesn't know this, especially if you grow your own chickens, what happens is the meat tends to be just a little bit tougher because your chickens are actually walking around, grazing, not just stuck in one place like a lot of the commercially grown chickens you get from the grocery store. So because they have more muscle, the meat tends to be a little bit tougher. And so it took us a little while to figure out how to best cook the chickens that we have grown. So what we do now is we take them out a day before we want to eat them. We soak them in a brine, so like just salt water. We use pickling salt and water, and they sit and soak for 24 hours. Sometimes it's less, but anywhere from about 18 to 24 hours. Then
I put them into a baking pan. And how I cook them is I put garlic into the cavity, and on the top, it depends if I start it or if Andrew starts it. Andrew uses different spices than I do, but typically if I start the chicken, I do salt, pepper, and paprika. Then I put it into the oven. Today it's at 300 because I figure it'll cook for about 2 hours. So I like to cook it at a lower heat for longer, and that again helps with just the chicken being tender. So I'm sorry I didn't show that process, but there's me just talking through that process of how I cook the chicken. Now in the sink, I just dumped, well, first of all, my lunch dishwasher. Those were all the dishes that were not cleaned properly, so he's gonna come back and rewash those dishes. But in the sink, I've got a bunch of white potatoes and some sweet potatoes, so I'm gonna peel those, chop them, and I'm gonna make mashed potatoes for supper. A mashed potato, half white potatoes or yellow potatoes or red potatoes or whatever you have, but half potatoes and half sweet potatoes, turns out really, really nice. We really like doing mashed potatoes that way. Now I just need to get some broccoli ready for our veggie, and this is a nice convenience option because it's already chopped. Now I am gonna chop it smaller because like it's chopped into big pieces. We definitely need them smaller than that. I'm also going to make myself a protein shake this afternoon. I'm making it with almond milk. This is a chocolate whey protein powder, whey protein isolate, 1 scoop, little extra protein this afternoon. Usually I have my protein shakes in the morning, but I had, what did I have? Toast and eggs for breakfast this morning, so I'm doing a shake this afternoon. The potatoes are all cooked, I've drained them, and now when I'm mashing potatoes, I add butter, sour cream, milk, salt, pepper, and garlic powder. The broccoli is sitting here just waiting for that to boil. And then this is my potato masher, so I'm just gonna get these potatoes all mashed. The chicken is also done, it's just sitting there. It'll be time to take that off the bone in just a minute. And here is dinner ready to go. We've got the mashed potatoes in there. We've got broccoli. Here is the chicken. The kids, well, Elijah really enjoys coming and taking all the meat off the bone, so I just called him to come do that. He'll take all the meat off and just put it onto a plate, but it should just, you know, come apart really easily there, and it's so good. One more coffee here after dinner. It's the next day, and I never really finished the full day of food yesterday. So what happened is we went to Elijah's baseball game in the evening. We took along some dill pickle spits, which if you don't know what spits are, they're sunflower seeds. That's usually what we take along to baseball games. And that's all that I had after I finished filming. The kids did have a snack. Elijah had a protein bar after his baseball game, and I was gonna come home, and I actually early on in the day I put a sparkling water in the fridge, and I'll show you what that sparkling water is because it's still sitting in the fridge. I was like, wait, did someone else have it? No, it's still here. I'll have to have this later on today. This cream soda sparkling water. I was gonna have it last night, but we just got home and I was so tired I went straight to bed. So this is the end of the full day of food. Sometimes time gets away from me, and you know, the family is getting bigger, the kids are growing up, and they're just kind of eating here and there, and I don't always catch everything, but I do make sure when I post these full day of food, even if I'm not showing 100% of what the kids have, I do want to show a true, honest, what I eat in a day. So there we go. Thanks for watching this video. See you next time.